Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the CBL X's and O's podcast for season 2023. I'm sitting down to review what it was round 6 in the Gippsland conference today, and unfortunately, Reese can't join us today. He's off enjoying a bit of a holiday, but round 6 brought to us a men's team getting their first win for the season, but also some ladder shaping wins occurred in the women's competition. So let's get into it. Saturday in Sale, Traralgon travelled into Sale to take on the Sonics, but unfortunately the Sonics couldn't defend their home court, going down by just under 50 points in that game. And Zach Messina led the way for the T-Birds, shooting 29 points, closely assisted by Bradley Watson shooting 20. And for the Sonics, the young guns, Jake Hudson shot 14 and Zach Felsberg continued shooting his double-digit figures, shooting 10 points. Morwell travelled down to Warragul to take on the Warriors, and young gun Riley Mohu shot 23 points and pretty much did the damage for the Warriors against the Magic, closely supported by Jordan Gukia, who shot 22. He's continuing to have a stellar CBL season this season, but a veteran of the competition for the Magic, Jordan Canavan, continued to show that he's still got the skills to play in the CBL competition, shooting 25 points in that game. We then look to Sunday when the Lakes Entrance Pelicans travelled over to South Gippsland to take on the Currumbara Wildcats in what the Pelicans were able to do and walk out of there with their first win of the season. And Christopher Field, shooting 19 points, is continuing to lead that Pelicans team. However, Joel Winderlich did all he could for the Wildcats, shooting 27 points, but it just wasn't enough as the Wildcats go down 5 points to the Pelicans. Sale then backed it up on Sunday, taking on the top of the table, second placed Wonthaggi Coasters, and it was Jet Garnham who had a stellar game on Sunday, shooting a massive 54 points for the Coasters, and closely followed by Will Mortimer, who shot 21 points. So both them contributing 75 points between them out of a total 134 for the Coasters. And, we've got Jake Hutchins shooting 19 points again for the Sonics, leading them, and Harper Fraser shooting 15. So the young Sonics struggled a little bit on Sunday against the Coasters, but, they were still able to shoot 68 points, which is a really good outing for the Sonics. And then we had our game of the round between the Traralgon T-Birds and the Pakenham Warriors in what was a tough battle for both teams. And in the end, the T-Birds were able to run out 7-point victors over the Warriors. And young gun Ben Waller contributing 29 points for the T-Birds, definitely assisted them over the line. And, only to Ben Gaze shooting 27 for the Warriors. He did all he could to try and take them to the victory. But unfortunately, that loss to Pakenham does hurt them quite a bit when it comes to the ladder. And we've got Moe, who had the week off, sitting on top still with an undefeated record of 8-0. Wonthaggi sitting second with their win over the weekend, a 5-1 record. Still 4 games to play for the Coasters, so 2 double headers in the last 2 rounds. Can they continue their winning form and hold on to a second position in the men's competition? We've then got Mafra sitting in third, again, 5-1 record, 6 games still to play for them as well after the weekend off. So 2 double headers coming up for both them teams, and them 2 teams still have to play each other, which will happen on the Sunday of round 8. So that game in round 8 is going to be a spectacular one, and probably we're going to be waiting until the Sunday to be able to determine who's going to host a home semi-final. Sitting on 4th in the ladder is Warragul with a 6-2 record, followed closely with Traralgon in 5th with a 5-2 record. So again, Warragul, Traralgon, they both play each other in round 8. So already looking ahead, round 8 is going to be a really, really big round, especially when we're talking about ladder-defying wins. Pakenham now sit in 6th with a 4-4 record, and I think they're still clutching onto that top 4 position, position hope, but I just don't think they're going to get there now with a 500 record and only 2 games up their sleeve. Carrabarra's next with a 3-5 record, and then we've got Southern Penn, Lakes Entrance, Maul, and Sale, which rounds out our Gippsland ladder at the end of round 6. We move across and have a look at the women's competition now, and we've got Sale took on the Traralgon T-Birds, who are sitting second on the ladder, and Traralgon were able to go in and really stamp their authority on the Sonics. But Dish Centra did all she could for the Sonics, shooting a massive 23 points, which is a game high for that game. And Samantha Labros led the T-Birds, shooting 18, along with young Sophie Little shooting 17 to assist the T-Birds over the line there. The More Magic travelled into Warragul and made easy work of them, running out, just under 40-point victors. And Emily Scaldies is continuing her fine form this season, shooting a massive 24 points for the Magic. Grace Schill was a contributor with her for the Magic, shooting 21. And Beck Orwin led the Warriors in this game, shooting 12. So it was a tough night for the Warriors on Saturday night. We then move across to Sunday, and the Wildcats really showed the competition that they are the team to beat this season, continuing their undefeated record, making light work of the Lakes Entrance Pelicans. And Alana Arneson shooting 23 for that one, and Lara Gill also contributing 18 were the 2 standouts for the Wildcats in that game. And Chloe Watson was able to hit double digits for the Pelicans, shooting 10 out of the 22 points in what was a tough game for the Pelicans. And, it's always tough going up against the undefeated Wildcats, who are really showing the competition that they are the benchmark this season. Wonthaggi travelled into Sale and were able to run out 13-point victors over the Sonics. And again, Dish Centra shooting a massive 28 points for the Sonics has led all scorers in that game. And Tiani Allingworth shooting 20 for the Coasters was a real standout for the Coasters. We then had Eva Garnham and Gemma Thomas both contributing 17 for the Coasters, which again, there's 3 players that have contributed just under 60 points for the Coasters. So there was a little bit more scoring, but not a lot of power outside of them. And then again, same as the men, we had game of the round between Traralgon and the Pakenham Warriors. And the Pakenham Warriors looked like they came in a little bit undermanned with not a huge amount of players, but Hayley Letts continued her stellar form this season, shooting 3, and Isabella Jong assisted her to 17, but it just wasn't enough for the Warriors to get over the line, going down by 29 points to the T-Birds, with Jordan Pyle shooting 24 and Samantha Labros shooting 14 for the T-Birds, which is a great outing for the T-Birds. They've held their spot in second on the ladder. So we'll have a quick look at the ladder again. And I mentioned before, Carrabarra sitting on top, undefeated record, 8-0. They've pretty much they've locked in their top 4 position, and they're pretty much locked in a home semi-final the way they're going. Sitting second on the ladder is Traralgon with a 6-1 record, still 3 games to go, and quite some tough ones in that. So Wonthaggi sitting third, 5-1 record. Mafra sitting 4th with a 4-2 record to round out our top 4 at the current time. We've then got Maui and Pakenham sitting 5th and 6th with 5-3 records, and they're the 6 teams currently that I think are gonna still contend for top 4 finals. But obviously you want to be in the top 4 now. Means you're more likely to have that top 4 finish. We've then got the ladder follows Warragul, Morwell, Sale, Southern Penn and Lakes Entrance round out the ladder. Both teams still without a win, and I believe they battle each other out in round 8 as well, which is going to be a cracker. One of them teams is going to get their first win for the season. That's it. That's our round 6 preview in the Gippsland Conference, and stay tuned for later this week when we look to preview what will be a round 7 in our Gippsland Conference.